Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name is Jason Newland and Vinny is destroying some paper on the floor. Bless him. This is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And this is Thursday Throwbacks. So yeah, I haven't done one of these for, I think it's probably a couple of weeks actually, due to just, Christmas and stuff like that. Because it was Christmas Day, wasn't it? It was New Year's Day last Thursday, and it was Christmas Day the Thursday before. So we're kind of back to normality, although we are predicted to have some kind of huge storm in England. So that'll be, hopefully everyone's safe and, keeping out of the storm if you can. So I'm going to do 1988 because I did 1987 last time. And I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to my podcasts, for watching my videos on YouTube, for watching my videos on TikTok, Instagram and X, and all my followers that joined my group on Facebook, which is Jason Newland's Boring Group, and everyone that visits my website. I think that's ticked off everywhere. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the place really when it comes, not just my brain, but like when it comes to my recordings and my videos. It's Thursday the 8th of January 2026. Not much going on really, I don't think, generally, apart from it just being really grainy, and Vinny's now staring at me because he doesn't want to eat his own food. He's got an issue with it. He doesn't want to eat his own food. Wants to eat my food. I've been quite good this week, although tonight I didn't, but every day for about 4 or 5 days I've cooked myself some food, so that's good. Took a night off today. I'm now eating Vinny's food. Makes a change. I started a new thing at the beginning of this year. We're still at the beginning of the year, really, aren't we? It's like all that time ago on the 1st. I don't know what day it is. I've done 5. Today was the 5th. So I guess I would have started it on the 3rd. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. No, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Which is the Relax in 10 Minutes. So they're videos and they're also on my podcast. I've got a specific podcast just for them. And as they say on the title, they're short. It's sometimes a little bit longer than 10 minutes because I do struggle to fit things in. I have a tendency of saying too many words. But then, I mean, what would it be like if I just sat here and said nothing? No one's going to want that, are they? Why, he wasn't making any noise when I first started to. Honestly, for the last few hours, not a sound off of him. So Vinny's in the background. What time is it? It's 9:45, so it's quite a late night actually. But something's happened since the new year. I don't know why. I started going to bed later. genuinely don't know why. I mean, I'm in bed between sometimes 11:30, 12, even later sometimes. And excuse me, yawning. I was going to bed at 10 o'clock a few months back. Ah, well. Maybe it's because I want to stay up to do this stuff. Maybe that's what it is. Because it's not just about recording or making the video or doing the audio. It's all the other stuff that goes into it, like the editing, the uploading to all the different places, which is time consuming. I've got an itch. Oh, that's better. And sometimes I just want to get it finished. I want to get what I was doing done, you know. I did a new recording a few hours ago. It's a weird noise my mouth just made. It's my stomach. And it was a relaxation technique based on Wurzel Gummidge. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to call it. It's going to be a standalone recording, but the premise of it is that you can change how you feel on purpose without just waiting for it to happen. And also realizing that we're always changing. How we feel is changing constantly anyway, even though we may not be aware of it. So, yeah, I think that's it. That's everything up to date. Took him out a couple of times. I'm still banned from going live on TikTok till tomorrow at 5:45 in the afternoon for some reason. It's weird. I quite know why. Maybe because I was shaving my head, you see, and I started saying for every, I think it might be every 100 likes or every 1,000 likes, I'll do another strip. So maybe it's the fact that I said that word, or perhaps it was the buzzing sound of the razor, but it's an electric razor, so I don't know. Maybe it sounded like something that TikTok doesn't like to have on their live things. I don't know. I don't know. So, I'm going to go start with 1988. So this is the major UK TV debuts in 1988. So I'm just thinking, where was I in 1988? I would have started January 88, living above the chip shop, until about April, March time when I moved out and left that job. And then I was living with my dad until probably for a couple of months, till about June. And then I moved out, ironically, and moved above my next job, which was the co-op. So I lived above there from probably June, July till about September, October time. It's hard to kind of keep track of it. It's a little while ago. I mean, literally, the beginning of 1988, I was 17. All to be 17 again. So, the major UK TV debuts. Red Dwarf started 15th of February 1988. Vinny's trying to climb on me. You don't want to climb on me, do you? So I don't know why you're doing that. You don't want to get on me anyway then. So why bother? If I go to pick you up, you're going to jump off, aren't you? Hey? I'll give you cuddles, but you don't want to be on my lap. I wish you did, because probably more people would watch if you was on my lap. Because you're a cutie kabooty, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So, Red Dwarf, 15th of February 1988, cult sci-fi sitcom begins quietly. I used to watch... Vinny, what do you want? Go away. Leave me alone. He doesn't want anything to do with me unless I'm actually doing something. If I was sitting there, he would cuddle up on me and just cuddle up next to me and go to sleep. But because I'm doing something and he wants my attention, doesn't like the fact that I'm giving other people attention. I mean, he's literally right, like, just there on the side of the sofa, staring at me, and his tail's waggling because he knows I'm talking about him. I can't do it. Vinny, leave me alone, mate. I'm trying to do this. Right, let's stay serious. I watched Red Dwarf. I don't know if I saw it when it first came out. Probably did, because I just watched TV all the time, you know. When I wasn't working, I was watching TV. Vinny, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want me to pick you up? Come on then. Come on then. He doesn't want me to pick. He wants to have a play. He wants to play with me, don't you? He wants me to go like that so he can play bite me. I can pick you up if you want. If you want to say hello to the people on the screen. You want to do that? No? Is that a no? Well, calm down then. Red Dwarf did become popular. It's very popular, kind of, I think worldwide. It became a bit of a cult. And I used to watch it. I used to like it, but I don't know if I watched it from the beginning. Well, that didn't work out very well. I went and picked him up, brought him over, and he pretty much knocked everything off the table, including my glasses. Not that my glasses were on the table, they were on my face, but, you know, he kicked my glasses, so I had to go and clean my glasses because he smudged them all. Oh dear. So the next one is This Is Your Life. BBC Revival. Okay. Yeah, I used to watch that. This Is Your Life. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Something like that. And I don't know if you have it in your country or used to have it. They would surprise celebrities. So it's Michael Aspel. Is it Michael Aspel? And he would surprise people. He'd turn up at theatre or something like that and say, Paddington Bear, this is your life. And he'd have a red book. And then it'd cut to the studio where he was sitting with his or her loved one, and then family members would come in and they'd sort of introduce people from the past and celebrity friends and like, do you remember this voice? Get out of my bathroom. You don't live here. Get out of my bathroom. Yep, it's your old neighbour when you was a schoolgirl. Schoolgirl? Schoolgirl. But yeah, that was a good show. Going live. BBC One Saturday morning kids show. I probably didn't watch it because I was working Saturdays mornings, so I probably didn't get to watch that. Even though it's a kids show, I would have stopped. I probably would have watched Saturday early morning TV. In at the Deep End, Paul Hainsey, BBC observational strand begins. I got no idea. I understood the individual words, but the sentence that it came out of all those words didn't really resonate with me, if I'm honest. I had a headache earlier. It's weird, isn't it? Just maybe too much staring at these screens. The Late Show, the BBC Two Arts Culture late night strand launches. We're using the word strand a lot in this. This is ChatGPT. And for some reason they're using the word strand. I wouldn't use that in a sentence other than I'll meet you at the Strand. Or there's a strand there. I wouldn't use it in a sentence. Well, technically they were sentences, but... Dear John, I've mentioned this before. Dear John continues 1988, its peak popularity year. Loved that show. Unfortunately got cut short because the lead actor unfortunately left us. And I loved that TV show. It was so gentle and funny. I just found it very funny. Really did. It's one of my favourite, I'll always have a soft spot for that show. I think they only did one series, Might have done two. I'm not 100%. ITV, this is a children's comedy drama debuts in 1988 called Woof. I wouldn't know about that. I can't remember that. I generally wasn't watching children's programs because I was 17. So I'd watch early morning Saturday TV because things like the Wide Awake Club, because they were funny. That was a funny TV show. Home to Roost, sitcom starring John Thor, begins. I used to like that show. I think it's basically John Thor is retired and his adult son, comes back to live with him. And there's that dynamic, and it was a good show. I liked it. I think that was before John Thor started doing... What was Morse? Yeah, Inspector Morse, because that was his... he'd been around for years and years and years, did the Sweeney, did loads of things. But Morse is one thing that he'd probably be possibly most remembered for, because he did it for a long time. Yeah. Take Me... A Bit of a Do. A Yorkshire set drama, a comedy drama, started late 1988. Don't remember that. A Bit of a Do. It sounds familiar, but I don't remember it. Yeah. Take Me Home, a drama miniseries starring Keith Barron. Nope, don't remember that one either. I know Keith Barron. He was in quite a few sitcoms, but I don't remember that one. There's one sitcom that he was in. It was was abroad. It was basically, it was two couples on holiday, and they were both having affairs with each other's wives and husbands. That's pretty much the premise of the whole thing. But neither knew about each other's shenanigans. Shrinks, comedy drama about psychoanalysis, debits in 1988. I know I was only 17, but that sounds like something that would interest me even back then. It interests me now, but I think it would interest me back then. I've always kind of found that subject to be of interest, sort of trying to figure out what was in my mind when I was younger, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. You know, why was I like I was? And it turns out in later life I got diagnosed with bipolar and EUPD, which is emotionally unstable personality disorder. I don't know why that's funny, but it was just, you know, I couldn't figure it out. It's like there's this thing that's been with me since I was a little kid, and like, so yeah, I remember when I was 18, I sat on the beach reading Sigmund Freud's life story, and it was a massive book. And if I'm honest, and I don't like to be, I'm not sure if I understood any of it. Really, I don't know if I did, but I was reading it anyway. And that's what I used to do. When I was younger, you know, like quite young, I would read books that they were too advanced for me, but I'd read them anyway. It's weird, I don't know why. I don't know if I gained anything from it. You know? It's like I was reading books on cosmology and astronomy and black holes and stuff when I was about 12 years old. And I'd get books from the library as well as getting books for Christmas and birthdays. I had all these books on astronomy. And I'd be reading them like, I think the most interesting, or the bit that stimulated me most, was the smell of the ink on the page, because brand new books smell so good, especially hardback books. Oh, yummy! I just wanted to eat it up. Channel 4, Drop the Dead Donkey. A pilot commissioned in 1988, series came out in 1990. Drop the Dead Donkey, wasn't that in a press office or something, I think? Then Eurotrash. There wasn't a teenager in this country that did not watch Eurotrash if they got a chance. And probably every young man, or every man who got a chance to watch it, because it was one of those shows that was really aimed at men. Really, it was aimed at like teenagers, really. It was just, but it was funny as well. So it was aimed at adults, but it was funny, but it was kind of very much seemed to aim towards yeah. I can't really explain the show if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, you'll know what I mean. And they did something early on that I'd never seen done before, which is very funny. Still is funny. Is they had, so they go to different places of Europe and find wacky stuff that was going on, quite often related to adult activities, and they'd interview the people that were doing these wacky activities. So they'd interview a German person, or someone from Switzerland, someone from France, someone from Poland. And when they talked, it'd always be in English, dubbed in English. but it would be in a regional accent, like a really strong UK regional accent. And it was funny, because I don't think I'd ever seen that before, ever. I've seen it since, I've never seen it before. And it was almost, it was quite weird. There was this, in the 80s, there was this very famous person that was on the news quite regularly, but the TV show stations, the news, would not actually play his voice, so they got a voice actor in to play his voice, to say what he'd said. Okay. And then in the 90s, so I grew up the 80s listening to this voice. In the 90s, probably about 95, maybe 97, 98, I don't know. There was kind of like okay, it's all right now. And this person came on and we heard his voice for the first time. Identical to the other voice. Identical. Why not just have him talk? If you're going to get someone that's going to sound exactly the same. I laughed when I first heard it. Because it was a big deal, like he's going to talk for the first time live. And you're going to hear what he really sounds like. It was... What do you want, Vin? Eat your dinner. If I get you dinner, will you eat it? Will you eat your dinner if I get you dinner? You will. You've interrupted me a lot during this recording. This is going to take ages to edit. Absolutely ages. Right, I'm going to try and... I'm going to get him some food, see if he eats it. Oh dear. Basically, he just didn't want the food that I'd put out for him. So I had to chuck that away. Got him some new food. Different food, rather. And he's just tucked into it and he's eating it all. Oh, Vinny. Vinny, what did you do that for? It's embarrassed me sometimes. Network 7 Youth Culture Show launches 1987. Still fresh. It's not fresh in here. In 1988. Network 7. I don't remember that. Comic Strip Presents new films throughout 88. I never really watched the Comic Strip Presents. Even though I liked all the people that were in it. I don't know, I just didn't watch them. Key continuing UK series in 88. Comedy and entertainment. So Only Fools and Horses continued their Christmas special called Dates? Okay. Hello, hello. Still going. I've talked about Hello, hello. It's about the French resistance during the second WW, and I don't know. It's like farcical, so it's it's very popular. I guess it just wasn't my kind of thing, really. I guess. Heidi High nearing its end, and see things like that because I grew up sort of like in 90s, because I'm like really old apparently. What are you doing on TikTok, Grandad? Were you on the internet? You're not supposed to be on the internet. You should be in the corner dribbling. No, I can still time to go and dribble. I can dribble when I finish this. I've never been into basketball. Heidi High is one of those shows that I remember as a very young, like 10, probably maybe 10-year-old, maybe 12 or whatever, but it went on for quite a few years. and it was a continuation of those old sitcoms that if you watch them now, when they play them, it says a big thing at the top of the screen: may contain humour that is outdated or whatever, just like that represents the opinions of the time. So Heidi High kind of did that, but not as much as It Ain't Half Hot Mum. But there was that ending with those shows. I think they all, is it David Croft that did those shows? And right at the end, they'd list who appeared in the sitcom. This wasn't so much a sitcom, but in the comedy show. And they'd list them and they showed a picture of the people that were just been in it. They did that with Heidi High. They did that with Ain't Half Hot Mum. I'm trying to think what else they did that with. But that's it, Vinny. Can you make a bit more noise, please? He's really hassled me today during this recording. Put him in the bedroom then. Well, it kind of doesn't seem fair. He doesn't like being on his own. Ever decreasing circles. Oh, by the way, Heidi High was set in a camp. No, not. Okay, a holiday camp, kind of like Butlins, Pontins kind of thing. I don't know if other countries have holiday camps or used to have holiday camps in the 60s, 50s, whatever. I mean, we still do have Butlins in this country. I don't know how many there are, and I actually worked in one in 1995. Yes. Believe it or not, I did. Which is weird because I thought it was going to be like Heidi High, and it wasn't. It really wasn't. I thought everyone was going to go around, because in Heidi High they all say to each other, Heidi High. In Butlins they don't sort of say, Butlins, Butlins, Butlins. It doesn't happen in Butlins. Or at least when I was there it didn't. I tried to start the trend. Ever decreasing circles, Richard Bryars, who is in The Good Life. I liked Richard Bryars. And Ever Decreasing Circles, I probably said this, but it's a couple of weeks ago and I don't remember what I talked about. He's jealous of his wife's friendship with the next door neighbour. That pretty much is the entire synopsis of that particular show, I would say. And he's a bit of a grump, a little bit of an old grump. French and Saunders, so they start to get big. They're comedians, like Jennifer Saunders, Absolutely Fabulous, and Dawn French was in The Vicar of Dibley. I mean, they're in other things, but they're the two shows that they had separately that were probably their biggest shows. One was like it was international, wasn't it? Absolutely Fabulous. As Vicar of Dibley might have been. Personally, I preferred Vicar of Dibley. It's just that quaint little village, just the characters. It was all about the individual characters. It had Trotter from Only Fools and Horses. It had what a great cast ensemble. Spitting Image, Yeah, I remember I used to watch that. I'm sure it used to be on a Sunday night. So I used to watch that, and it was good. It was funny. And back then we had, was it 1988? We still had, no. The Conservatives were still in the UK. So there was a lot of very famous politicians being made fun of. Yeah. I used to like it. It used to be funny. They were supposed to be, but I used to find it funny. That's it. I used to find it funny. That's a better way to say it, isn't it? The New Statesman. Sir Rick Mell played Alan Bastard, a politician. I just found that show great. For me, that was his best role. Personally, for me, I mean, I know he did a lot of other stuff, but for me, in that show, he just was great. It's just my favourite role that he did. The Two Ronnies, they've been repeating the Two Ronnies for decades. Game for a Laugh, End of a Run, wow. So that seems to, I thought that went on forever, but it didn't. I used to like that. It's because right at the end they say goodbye from me, goodbye for him, goodbye from them, and goodbye from me. And they all went on to do their own TV stuff. Matthew Kelly went on to do Stars in Their Eyes, and I'm not sure what else he did, but he did. I mean, that was a huge TV show, so Stars in Their Eyes. Jeremy Beadle did Beadle's About. And what's the other show that Jeremy Beadle did? I don't remember, but I used to like that. It seemed a little bit cruel because it was like the thing they have in America, the secret camera show that they used to have. Candid Camera, wasn't it, I think? And we used to get Candid Camera, but it would be on late at night. So it wasn't like peak time viewing here. So I guess we just copied it and did it with Beadle's About. But it would be quite big scenarios. For example, they'd put a fake copy of a car, someone's car, and they'll show, as the person's walking home, they'll wait until he's walking home or she's walking home, and they drop a big bunch of dirt on top of the car, or they crush the car. So then the person's reacting really angrily, and then Jeremy Beadle would come on in a disguise, same disguise every time, and he just wore a hat and glasses. The thing is, I did write into him and said, Jeremy, I know you're a master disguise, but it might work better if you weren't holding a microphone and there weren't cameras behind you. So all running in front of him as well, because they do, don't they? They've got to be like crouching down, looking up at you as you're walking towards them. That's a giveaway, isn't it? There's cameras there. Put down the microphone. That'd be like the worst spy in the world, wouldn't it? Be at dinner trying to get spies, trying to get information from someone, some diplomat. It's like, yeah, so where were all the secrets kept? Poker put a microphone in their face. Whereabouts? What's the combination of the lock? What other show did he do? He did more than just, not just, I mean, it's a big show, but he did Beadle's About and he did something else I can't think off the top of my head. Maybe it will come up in the next year. So that was the end of that show. Drama and soaps. EastEnders, hugely dominated by 1988 Big Christmas Special, yeah. Coronation Street, Emmerdale Farm, Brookside. These are just the soaps that were carrying on going. Casualty, The Bill, Inspector Morse, Bergerac, Howard's Way, London's Burning, Sunday Night, that used to be on. I think Howard's Way also used to be on Sunday night as well. And then A Very Peculiar Practice. I cannot remember that. The name is familiar, but I can't remember the show. Children's TV in 88. Going Live, Blue Peter, Grange Hill. I didn't watch Grange Hill by then because it was about school kids and I wasn't interested in anything to do with school. Like, I watched it when I was at school, which I think was when it's at its peak, early 80s. There was a storyline that was absolutely massive. There was a storyline on Grange Hill that was huge. They even brought out an album. Oh no, a song for charity and stuff. So I didn't realise. Yes, it might. I don't know. Is it still on? It might still be on. I don't know. Play School, Play Bus. No. Now you might be thinking, why am I talking about children's programs? I wouldn't watch them. Well, I didn't watch the kids' programs, like in the evening and the early afternoon stuff like that. But I did like sometimes watching the Saturday morning stuff, like the Wide Awake Club. There'd be, what's it called? Muppet Babies, Fraggle Rock. I watched that into my 20s. I just liked it. I just liked it. I'm not gonna explain myself. I liked it. I suppose if you grow up with Muppets, which a huge part of the population grew up watching the Muppets, whether it was the Muppet Show, whether it was Fraggle Rock, whether it was the movies they did, whether it was is it Alphabet Street? So there's so many. It's almost like it's embedded. Jim Henson, the Muppets, was kind of embedded in the public psyche, kind of. In the early 90s, any time that I stopped working on a Saturday morning, I would watch the Saturday TV in the morning, because the shows were chaotic and they were funny. And you had like Ant and Dec with Cat Deeley. They were funny. I mean, really funny. The three of them together were brilliant. And that was, in the early 90s. Jamie Theakston. They were funny. I know it might sound weird, but although technically they were children's programs, what they were saying was funny for adults as well. And sometimes the kids, they say something that's funny, but it's almost like you think only the adults were really understanding what they were saying, because it was really rude. And technically they shouldn't have been saying it, I suppose. But I'm probably wrong. Probably the kids did understand, but okay, I didn't understand. I didn't know what they were talking about. I had to get help. I didn't know what they meant. They were saying things that were rude. Danger Mouse on ITV. See, Danger Mouse, the problem with it's not a problem. One of the good things I loved about Danger Mouse, the original show, is it had... Danger Mouse was Del Boy. from Only Fools and Horses, so him, that actor, and Danger Mouse and the Mole. God, what's his name? But it was Terry Scott. What's the name of the mole? Danger Mouse. Whenever there is danger, he'll be there. Danger Mouse. Powerhouse. Not Gertrude. St. Bernard. I've done quite good with names today, so I'll let myself off that one. But he was a mole anyway in the show. But it was Terry Scott, who had one of my favourite voices. He just had such a good voice for comedy. Just, I don't know what he could do. High pitched, he could just, so expressive. I love Terry Scott. Super Gran, I don't think I ever really watched that. Raggy Dolls, no. I mean, by this time, Thomas and the Tank Engine, Friends. I don't remember if I ever watched Thomas and the Tank Engine, even when I was little. So I didn't, I wasn't watching kids' programs, but sometimes, because things like Danger Mouse, they just repeat them. Or Scrappy-Doo, Scooby-Doo, Scrappy-Doo. They'd show the same episodes from years ago, and sometimes I'd watch that because it's nostalgic, Just feels nice sometimes just to watch old stuff. And that's why you're watching me, because I'm old. Yeah. Pob's program, still unsettling viewers. I need to look that up. I don't know what that's about. Pob's program. Top of the Pops saw pop groups dominate charts. Music and youth culture. Top of the Pops is for everyone, isn't it? I'd watch it now if it was on. Literally, maybe not right now, but I would watch it if it was still on once a week. I would have watched it continuously all through the last 30 years, 20 years, or whatever it's been since it was on. The chart show used to be on a Thursday night. I think they might change it to a Friday night though. Top of the Pops. I know they changed logo to TOTP because saying Top of the Pops was way too complicated. The chart show music videos now are main TV habit. Well, I don't know why they say that. Music videos have been around. It's like the way it's like put forward as if almost Bohemian Rhapsody was the first music video ever made, kind of. Loads of music videos were made. Loads. Look at all the videos made for the Monkees. I know it's part of the TV series, but they made videos for the TV shows, made videos for their music. A lot of Elvis's songs were in movies, so, admittedly they probably didn't make the movie just for the song, but on the same way, the movies were made around the songs, weren't they? That's why people went to see him. I don't think they were really that bothered about seeing him act. They just wanted to see him sing. I'm guessing. Loads and loads of videos. I suppose also because MTV didn't come around till about 1980, was 82, 81, 82. And apparently Michael Jackson's Thriller was one of the only ones that, there's only a handful that kept being repeatedly played, even though there was loads. I guess they just weren't in the right format, maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying there's thousands of videos like now, or millions, but there were videos. Maybe they mean they weren't like really good or a lot of effort put in. I don't know. I'll tell you what I have noticed. I've watched a few videos, like more kind of recent music, and there seems to be a credit at the end. Never used to be credits at the end of videos, not music videos. Is it like a new trend? I don't know. Itchy chest. It's weird. Today is the first day where it's actually felt a bit cold in here. I've got my socks on. The window's not open. So I'm wondering, maybe the heating's broke. Oh, I hope not. Rapido. Rapido is Antoine de Cain's. I think he did Eurotrash. So he basically just introduced alternative music, like it says there. 6 o'clock news, 9 o'clock news, that's carried on. Standard stuff, Channel 4 news, ITV news. Sport on TV, 1988, just standard stuff. The only thing that stood out really was the Seoul Olympics, 1988. BBC and ITV coverage. Snooker, according to this, was still strong but declining in mainstream popularity, because there was a period in the early 80s when snooker was huge. Like, huge. Just in a way as Wimbledon was huge. I mean, it's still popular with people that like it, but based like with McEnroe. During McEnroe's era, I don't know if that was the top time for tennis, but it was like everybody was watching it because they wanted to see what McEnroe would do next. Major imports shown in the UK in 1988. US dramas, action, MacGyver, ITV, The A-Team, Knight Rider, Miami Vice. I still think it's one of the coolest TV shows ever, Miami Vice. LA Law. I don't think I ever watched that. Moonlighting. Loved Moonlighting. Just loved it. Magnum PI, Falcon Crest. So a lot of those were on the way out. The A-Team, Knight Rider, they were kind of moving away. Yeah. I suppose the other one, the one that was quite strong, probably Moonlighting, Miami Vice. I don't know how many more years that kept going for. Magnum PI, that was kind of nearing the end, I think, as well. Comedy imports, Cheers, The Golden Girls, and The Cosby Show. So I think The Cosby Show is still being shown on a Sunday evening, peak time, like probably 5 o'clock, something like that. Cheers and The Golden Girls used to be on a Friday night, Channel 4. Cheers was always the last one to be shown, so it was Golden Girls, then Cheers. Cheers was at the top. And when they ran out of, when it was time, when they'd shown all the episodes, they'd then put on something else, like Roseanne, or what's that bloke that did The Tools? Him. I'm just trying to there was quite a few different ones over the years. Children's imports, Transformers, He-Man, She-Ra, Inspector Gadget and the Smurfs. I used to watch Transformers with my little brother, but he was gone by then. He'd moved away to another part of the country by then, so I didn't really bother with Transformers anymore. This was like the cartoon. He-Man, She-Ra, no, I didn't bother with that anymore. Because these are things I watched with him. I kind of had an excuse to watch it. So when I was like 15, 16. But then he was gone when I was, 16 and a half, he was gone. He moved away. Inspector Gadget, the Smurfs. So I didn't really watch any of those. Gentle talking points for your episode. So it's giving me some little side notes that I could mention. Lovely. Red Dwarf arrives quietly. What does that even mean? Arrives quietly. Do you know how many TV shows? It's amazing how many TV shows that just have one series and then they get taken off because they don't get much of an audience. I don't know about you, I've watched some of these shows and they're really good. But because they didn't get a really good audience or big audience first time round, they just get rid of it. On the flip side of that, some of the most popular TV shows weren't popular in the first series. And they gained some traction after the second and then became huge in the third series. So if they'd have got rid of, they could have got rid of Only Fools and Horses in the first series, after the first series, we would have lost out on almost part of our tradition in this country. I don't know, it feels traditional for me. Like Only Fools and Horses, the same as watching Top of the Pops on Christmas Day, although it's not on anymore. Getting into the toilet quickly after Christmas dinner so you haven't got a queue to do a poo in the loo. I'm thinking about starting doing some more poetry. Every now and then I get the urge. I think I could be a famous poet. Maybe. I'm thinking about starting to introduce the term low-key into my normal conversation. What do you think? Because I do wonder, like, how do people remember to say this stuff? I'm low-key hungry. I'm low-key really into doing that. I'm low-key blah blah whatever. How do people remember to say the word low-key? I thought they were actually referring to the Marvel character, Loki. Like, what's he got to do with you being excited about the plum tree? That was a weird sentence. So yeah, I might try and introduce that. Low-key. I'm low-key enthusiastic. Does it mean kind of under the radar? I really am pleased, but I don't want anyone to know about it. I'm low-key. But if that's the case, why are you telling everyone? If you're telling people that you're low-key interested in something, then you're just telling people that you're interested in something and it's not a secret anymore. You get me? Going live replaces Saturday Superstore. Only Fools and Horses specials now feel like national events. Yeah, they did. They were. There's only one that I didn't really kind of warm to, and that was the one where Del Boy, I think he goes abroad and there's like a crime boss that looks just like him. That's the only one I kind of probably didn't enjoy so much, but all the other ones I liked. Soaps dominated evenings, EastEnders, Coronation Street. Brookside, everywhere. Music, TV changes, videos matter more than performances. Well, I suppose if you're gonna, you can show a video. So if you're doing like a Saturday morning TV show, or if you're doing another like entertainment show, it's much easier just to show the video, isn't it, than to book the act to come and sing on the stage, especially if you perhaps don't want to pay out that budget. Yeah. And Top of the Pops, I think in the 80s, once we got past the late 80s, Top of the Pops did have more videos than perhaps they used to. But the idea there was no videos, I remember watching Tide is High. There was a video for that, Blondie, and that was like late 90s, late 70s. Or early 80s, I can't remember. But it was like, there was videos for that. Because she was on a beach, because it was about a tide, wasn't it? And she was singing about how the tide was high. And he was saying, I want to be your number one. Number one, number one. Here's a pattern I've realised, and you can take this to the bank and give me a percentage of the profits, please. Thank you very much. Write a catchy song with the words number one in. And say the word number one as often as you can, singing it throughout the song. Because I've noticed a few songs that got to number one that actually have the words number one. We're number one. Do 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 do. You were number one. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, see, pattern recognition, baby. So yeah, make some money from it and send me a big juicy check. So that is, I think 1988 for me, it was a weird, that was loud. It was a weird transition from having just spent 2 years working in a chip shop and then moving in a different direction, which was equally as aimless. I didn't know where I was going, what I was doing, why I was doing it. It was just because that's what was expected. Go have a job. And I didn't have any ambition. Some would argue, isn't that like now though? Isn't that exactly how you are now though, eh? Isn't it? I don't know. I think there's sorry, the screen's wobbling a bit. There's different types of ambition, isn't there? There's different types. My ambition is to, I guess, do the best I can, help as many people as I can, and try and do something worthwhile. As my therapist said to me 10 years ago or 9 years ago, when we were talking about, I was talking about not contributing to the local society. And she said, yeah, but you're contributing to the worldwide society. So, it's spread out. I'm not necessarily, it might not seem like I'm doing anything for my own town, but people all over the country listen to me. People all over the world listen to me. I've got at least 2 people in each country listen to me at least once every 5 years. Yeah. So on that note, I'm going to go now. Tomorrow is Friday, Q&A Friday. I'm going to talk about Andre. I have questions for and I asked a couple of weeks ago, and again, I just didn't end up doing it because of the whole Christmassy period. But we're back on schedule. So I'm going to go, and it is 10:54, blimey. It's time to go to bed soon. So I'll edit this in the morning because it's a bit late now to edit this. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself because you do deserve to be happy. And be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. And also remember that you're already enough. And you're going to be okay. Lots of love. Bye.